Hello, my dear friends. Today is perhaps the greatest day of the year. And I hear all your questions. Oh my god, Harstem, are Kevin Hart and The Rock gonna release a new movie? No, not quite. Oh my god, is Taylor Swift finally gonna announce her Reputation album, Taylor's version? Also no. Instead, what we're gonna be doing here, my dear friends, is we're going to be doing the tier list for StarCraft 2 player nicknames. And I know you have been requesting this for so long, and none of you could wait for this. So it's finally here. After many promises, I've collected about 80 to 90 names. I'm not great at counting, but somewhere along there. We have some old names, some new names, some current names, some people you guys might have never heard of, but I still remember fondly. So let's get into it. To start things off with, we have the 5 categories: brilliant, great, decent, bad, and please pick something new. If you're watching this as a pro gamer, you end up in the please pick something new section of this tier list, it is time to pick something new. We'll be allowing suggestions down in the comments for these people, and I'll be making my own suggestions as well, maybe based on your personality or the fact that you're very bad or very good at the game. We'll pick a name that I think belongs to you. So yeah, let's just get into it. Oh, the way I'm gonna do it, completely subjective. This is what we call kind of vibes based. We're gonna feel, I see a name and I feel something, I sniff. I might put some names through the Google test. The Google test is that if I put your name in Google and the first thing that pops up is a picture of your head or your Wikipedia page, it passes the Google test. If it doesn't pass the Google test, it's going to be really difficult to get a brilliant rating, at least in my mind. All right, enough yapping, let's get into it. And we're starting with Firefly. Firefly, Chinese Protoss player. I kind of like this. I'm not a fan of the word fire. I think people that use English words that are aggressive. I'm not a huge fan of like things like, assassin or the hitman. Like fire has a similar connotation, but because it's a firefly and those are cute little creatures, I'm actually going to rate this a little bit higher than I would have otherwise. I'm gonna just go for decent. There's no weird capitalization, no, the last letter as a capital, which I never really like. I'm okay with this. If I read Firefly, I'm like, okay, that is a nickname for someone. Up next, we've got Serral. Serral absolutely passes the Google test, although I'm not sure if that is because Serral is so freaking good or because this word just doesn't exist. See, he passes the Google test even with Wikipedia, so that's actually pretty freaking epic. I also like the fact that it's not a word that means anything. It has no weird capitalization. It has a double R in the middle, which just feels real good. You can roll it if you want to. Serral. It sounds better spoken with a Finnish accent, so we're going to put this nickname in absolutely brilliant. Goblin has to be one of the lower tier nicknames. It does have proper capitalization, the big fat G at the start. I'm a huge fan of it. But, I mean, the only way this name could have been worse is if he would have called himself Goblin King with a capital G at the end and maybe even like a capital B in there. So I'm going to put this as bad, just bad, and kind of on edge to please pick something new because it's very low. He's lucky that he's one of the first 3 because otherwise he's going to be on the very far right end here of this list. All right. Up next, we've got Showtime. I do like the word Showtime. Hate the capitalization. We're going to put this as a low, decent one just for that because I think the word Showtime is cool. It's not aggressive. It's many syllables, and I'm a huge fan of multi-syllables. I'm also a fan of just single syllables, but yeah, this is Showtime. It feels good. You can say it. In introductions, it sounds cool. Clem is sick because it's a nickname. His real name is Clement. And it's short. It's short. And Clement is long. Clem short. It's his real name, but it also sounds cool. It's single syllable. Does he pass the Google test though? Clem on Steam. Yeah, gets second, but it might be based on the fact that I always Google StarCraft. Clem television series. He kind of passes the Google test. If he properly would have passed this, I would have put him in brilliant. For now, we're gonna put him at a mid-grade location. Spirit. Now, of course, this is a name that doesn't show up alone because Spirit used to be called Soul. So we're kind of going to judge it like that. I think Soul, is the one name where I didn't mind the last letter being capitalized. It definitely did pass a serious vibe check. It looked cool, single syllable, wasn't very aggressive. it is a little bit mystical in a way, you know? Same that spirit also is, like, oh, the soul, the spirit. Actually has a very similar meaning. It has some soul, has some spirit. I'm gonna put both of those in decent. Both of those in decent. But I'm gonna actually put soul higher than spirit. This is going to be one of the few times, I'm gonna put Shotem at the very right end, of course. One of the few times where this weird capitalization does end up paying off. Then we have time, all caps. I don't think there's very many other names that are all caps, so the creativity is gonna get rewarded here. I like the word time as well. I think it's cool. It's easy to say. We're gonna put that on the low end of grade. Ryung, which is a Korean Terran player. It's not his real name. I think Beyond's last name actually is Beyond, so that's different. I think this word means bright or light or something like that. I think it looks cool. It's easy to pronounce, even if you're not from the country. I'm gonna actually put this in grade. Actually, this might be one of the Korean names where I'm almost feeling a brilliant. Ryung. It just sounds good. It feels banging. High grade. We're gonna put him. Is it better than Clem? Yeah, I think it's better than Clem. High grade for now. Then we get cure. It's a word to me that feels similar to spirit, soul, cure. I'm gonna put it lower because I think healing is lame. It's cool to be damaged. Don't forget that. Oliveira. I think time is much better than Oliveira. I think it definitely doesn't pass the Google test. No, I think it's also named after the Brazilian mixed martial artist. I think he's really into MMA. Changed his name to someone else. I'm not a fan of that. It's like calling yourself Messi or Ronaldo. I really much prefer time. I think that was way, way cooler. Did have better performances under Oliveira, but I'm actually gonna put this in bad. Still above Goblin though. Nice try, Goblin. You're not gonna beat that. Christianer. His real name is Christian. Made it longer, so did the opposite trick that Clem did. I don't mind it, but yeah, it sounds too much like a real name still. You know where it comes from. With Clem, it's like Clement is already kind of a rare name. Like an American never heard of that. It's like, Clement, is it a fruit? It's like, no, it's a name. It's like, oh, French, huh? Got us again. Christian is like, we know it's a name. We know what you did here. I'm actually gonna put it in bad because of that. A high end of bad though. High end of bad. Harstem. Actually one of the best names. I have legitimately no clue how I came up with it. I remember I was very young when I came up with it. Me and my friend, my best friend, we were just walking around and we used the word Harstem as kind of like an amplifier of things. Like, oh, that's Harstem cool is what we would say. Because we like the word Harstem. We tried to make it a thing. It didn't catch on, but I just loved it so much. I love the fact that it's just my H capital as a capital letter. I think this is almost better than Serral. I'm not sure if it is, because Serral has the double R in the middle, which I think is very powerful. But Harstem, it has some power to it too. I'm gonna put it below Serral for now, but it's very, very high. Ratata. Now this is a triplet. This is the player formerly known as Vanya, then changed his name into Ratata, then into Wayne. His real name, I believe, is Ivan. And his childhood nickname was Vanya, which I think is such a cool story. And it's also just a really good nickname. Like, I love the nickname Vanya. It just sounds good. I think it might be a common one. Uncle Vanya. Okay, he doesn't pass the Google test. But for this one, I don't actually think I care. I freaking love this name so much. I think it's great. I'm sad that he switched away from it. I'm going to put this on the high end of grade. I'm going to put Ratata at please pick something new. He did end up picking something new because he ended up going for Wayne, which I think is a cool name. Like, it sounds... It's like kind of like a Chad type of figure, you know? Someone called Wayne generally is going to be cool. Now I'm going to have like 5 Waynes in the comments around, oh, my name is cool. Yeah, actually kind of... I think Wayne is kind of a sick name, to be honest. I'm actually just going to put it in decent. I think this is a decent nickname. Maybe even above Firefly. No, I'm going to put it below Fireflies because I like animals. Then we get Hero, weird capitalization. It's too positive. You can't name yourself Hero. Other people need to give you this nickname. This is... Honestly, I'm just going to put it here. Yeah, please pick something new. This is legitimately a very bad nickname. Whenever you have a way too positive word that applies, that you wish applied to you, you can just name yourself that. That's not how this works, buddy. It's a nice try. Yeah, Hero's going to need to pick something new. Could change into aggression or clowny, something like that. Clowny, because he plays a bit like a clown at times. Blinks, because he likes blinking forward, but I think that's too game related. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, but yeah, definitely something new. Maru, I think, is banging. I'm not sure what Maru actually is. I think it's a product. Maru Japanese Kitchen and Bar. Oh, this is in Amsterdam. Ooh, less busy than usual. Might eat there tonight. I think it's good. I like it. It doesn't pass the... What god is Maru? I don't know what this is, but... The bunch of Dutch results. It's a cat. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that... truly amazing dishes. Everything tasted so fresh. Well, love to see it here for Maru. I'm gonna give it very high. I might even get it brilliant. Maru. Double syllable. R. I feel like I just like the R. It's gonna be here. Oh, is it better than Ryang though? Maru, Ryang? This is hard. This is hard. Actually, I'll put it here. Slightly above Ryang. I like Vanya more than Maru, actually, so it wouldn't be fair otherwise. Then we get Max Packs. I think it's okay. I don't love the P in the middle. We're gonna give it a high decent. Nothing crazy there. Beyond, I'm honestly would have given this a high grade, but because the N is capitalized in the end, it doesn't really pass the vibe check. It's gonna go below Wayne as a result. Rainer, this is really bad. Because I believe the reason why he's called Rainer is because he misspelled Jim Raynor. Because he picked this name when he was like 9. I think this is on the low end of bad. Does he pass the Google chat? Okay, he does. He's big enough now, which is cool. That is actually cool, because I think before it would tell you, did you try to spell Rainer? With an A. So, yeah. Did Rainer qualify for GSL? He is the first and only... Okay, nice. Good information. Solar, I mean, it's a word in English. A low decent. Classic, bad, just bad. You can't call yourself a classic. You have to earn that right. Cyan, that's a color. Sounds pretty freaking cool. Gonna put it above Soul in the decent line. Gonna get Scarlet. I think if it was Scarlet with a single T, I would have hated it. With a double T, it adds a little bit of, power. Kinda dig it. Gonna give that a low grade here. That's above Time. I feel like I might have overdone Time. I might boot him down later. DNS, I'm usually not a big fan of the MMA, DNS, MC, TY, SOS, that type of vibe. But with DNS, it's one of the few times where the capitalization actually ends up working out. As a result, I'm actually gonna put you in decent, I think. Low decent, though. Above Soul. I would say above Soul. Skilus, huge fan of the name. It's gonna go just below Scarlet. Lambo, it's a car brand. I love the guy, but it's not a good name. Used to be called Lambo King. If his nickname still was Lambo King, I would have had to make a new category just for him, because that is legitimately one of the worst names you could come up with. For now, we're gonna put it. Is it worse than misspelling Jim Raynor? I don't think it is. We're gonna put it above Raynor. Strange, cool, negative word to describe yourself, or kind of odd, mysterious. Good vibes for sure. Good vibes for sure. We're actually gonna put you below Strange, or below Time. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put you below Time. Then we get stats, standard word. We're gonna, we have like a little line, stats cure Solar. Like, what do we do with that? Doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel awful. Trigger. Not necessarily a huge fan of this. I would have hated it if it was with a capital T at the start. But the fact that it's a small T gives him a lot of points. And I think it looks cool. He's one of the only that doesn't have a capital starting his name. So I'm going to put him above Clem here. I might regret that. I don't think I will. Trigger. I love the double G in the middle. It has some real power to it. Some oomph. There's some oomph. Coffee, your Chinese Terran player is gonna go below Solar here. It's a drink. Chum, love it. I think it's a biblical figure. I don't know what he does in the Bible, but probably something banging. It's also a name you never hear. Normal capitalization. I'm gonna put it really high, just below Vanya. Always loved that name. I think I might even rate it higher than that. Do I want to put Chum up here? I think Chum just sounds really nice. The problem is that it's single syllable. Chum! You can't hear a crowd go, chum. I guess you go, chum, chum, chum. It sounds a bit weird though. Like you're saying chuck, chuck, chuck. Battlebee? Whenever I read the name Battlebee, I always feel, I keep thinking of like Digimon and Bionicles for some reason. I was never a big fan of Digimon and Bionicles. It just sounds odd. I don't even know what it's for. It's like, did he try to type Battle Cruiser, accidentally hit the B, and was like, whatever? Is it above? I think it's below Lambo for me. I'm not a huge fan of this nickname. Great player. Darren from Germany. Great guy as well. Mana. Mana, the fact that it's a game-related word, I freaking hate. Then he has the capital N as well. He's gonna put you on the low end of bad. Not a fan. E-Lasers, extremely high tier. This absolutely passes the Google test, right? E-Laser, yeah, look at that. Who is E-Laser? Mikołaj Ogonowski. Oh, so sick. Insanely good name. I think if there's one name that I wish I had picked, it was E-Laser. I think it just sounds so cool. E-Laser. Yeah, I'm gonna put him above me. I'm gonna put him above Cyril. I think E-Laser is by far the best name that we have in StarCraft 2. I don't think anyone on this list will beat it. I could be wrong. I actually have one or two more that I really like. I can't wait to get to them. Nice. Yeah, you know where they belong in decent. It's nothing... Is it nice? I might even put in bad. I'm gonna put you in here. I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Gerald. I mean, it's a cool name. I think he did it because of... There's a guy in The Witcher or something, which I think is a video game. But I didn't know it was a video game until he told me. Or until I heard it. So I'm gonna give him some more points for that. He's gonna go... Gerald. It sounds pretty powerful. Just below Wayne, I think is fine. Young Yakov. Now, usually I'm not a big fan of the rapper trend where they call themselves young, what is it? I don't even know any Young Money, Lil Wayne. You know, not a fan, but because he's the only one that does it, and there is some alliteration with the YY, I think it's pretty cool. So we're actually gonna put him, as a result, in grade, and I'm gonna put him above Time. I also realized that I think Time shouldn't be here. I don't like Time more than I like MaxPax or Wayne. I think Time is gonna get booted down. I'm sorry, buddy. Euthermal has the weird T as the second letter. I always kind of had a vibe for me. I'm gonna put you above Strange, just for that. Good vibes with you. Then we have Kung Fu Banda, which my text-to-image program didn't even catch. It just got Kung Fu Ban, which I think that pretty much tells the tale of this name. I mean, he misspelled Kung Fu Panda. Has the weird capitals everywhere. I think this is the lowest tier. Please pick something new. Kung Fu Banda. I don't even know what I would pick for him. He's a Protoss player, but yeah, it's not something movie related. El Shrek. Shrek is a good nickname as well. Sadly, it's taken by the green guy, but otherwise. If Shrek wasn't, you know, a massive movie, that would actually be a sick nickname. Holy crap, such a good word. Shrek. Lemon. You know where they're going. I'm actually starting to... Because there's so many of these, I kind of just want to boot them all down to bad. The more there are of the Lemon, Coffee, Solar, Secure, Stats, Spirits. I'm gonna put Showtime above Spirit, I just realized. Classic. Like, just not a fan. Shadowne. Not, if it was Shadow, it would be extremely low test. But because there's an N there, it's kind of mysterious. We're gonna put you up in grade. It does have the weird SpongeBob way of writing, which I'm not a fan of, but I think he did it before SpongeBob did, so he's the original one. Shout out to Shadowne for that. Fruit Dealer, extremely high tier. I think it's one of the only times where English words just kind of work. I feel like Showtime would be much higher as well if he hadn't done the weird WT and the E as big letters. Fruit Dealer is very good though. I'm gonna put Trigger down, by the way. I mean, lower on the list. I'm not gonna do anything bad. Don't worry, guys. Trigger, you're safe next time we meet. Please. No need to call the police, brother. Nikic, very good, right? I don't know if this is Nikic's name. Let's do the Google test. Nikic? Yeah. Well, the League of Legends. Yeah, look at that. Nikita Nikic Masalov is a Belarusian Zerg player. I'm actually gonna go pretty high here. I'm feeling Nikic. Kind of a great. I really like it. Nesty, I mean, what do you want me to say? Actually pick something new. It's a drink. Don't do this. Marine King. It has a gaming relation, related to a game. And it is the word king. Pick something new as well. I think he initially was called Foxer, Fake Boxer, which I really liked that nickname. And it had a cool story, because he was a big fan of Boxer, I think, growing up. And then he changed to Marine King. And then people started calling him Marine King Prime because he was in Prime. It was MKP. I think MKP was okay, but I think Marine King is not a good nickname. MC sounds pretty sick. I love that it's full capital as well. We're going to just put it high up in decent. Rain, we know where we're going. MVP, most valuable player. Yep, at the very bottom, my friend. You can't call yourself something like that. It's messed up. Rogue, actually low because it's the same as Killer 420, you know? This is actually... it's the lowest here. You don't have to repick, but pretty freaking close. No, actually, yeah, you're gonna go next to Hero. I put Hero there and putting you there. Absolutely. Then we have Oz. I think Oz is really sick because when you think of Oz, you think of the wizard. So you automatically have people start calling you the wizard if you start doing cool stuff, you know? All you need to do is a couple of cool moves and they start calling you the whiz or the wizard. So I think that's a really high tier nickname. The only problem is that it doesn't pass the Google check, of course. We're just gonna put it below Vanya, I think. Oz. It's hard to cheer as well, which is bad. Polt, fantastic nickname. Ugh. A thump or a blow? Obsolete. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like this nickname a lot. We're gonna put it, I think, between Maru and Riyang. Great nickname, absolutely phenomenal. Top in all caps. Not a fan of this. We're actually just gonna put you in bad. Below Mana, absolutely. Bomber. For whatever reason, I like this. As I said, this list is completely vibes-based. There's no logic. You would think that I'd put him in between Lemon, Coffee, Solar, Cure, Stat, Spirit, and Rain. But Bomber, it sounds pretty cool. I'm actually gonna... I'm gonna put you over here, next to Trigger. It feels right. Absolutely does. I'm starting to feel like Shadow and Euthermal don't belong in Great and maybe in Decent. I feel like Wayne should be higher too. Gonna boot him up a little bit. Curious, we know where you go. Nice try though, buddy. Jakchi. This is so cool because I remember I'd always pronouncing it as Jakchi because I wouldn't know how to do it, which I also think sounds cool. I think the first two letters of his real name are J's. So I'm not sure if that's related, but it's like a cool little factoid. No capitals either, which I think just looks sick. I'm actually gonna put you above Vanya. Yeah, Jakchi. MMA, you're going next to top. Very bad name. Dongre Gu, real name. Proper capitalization. I'm just gonna give you a decent above the word squad. English random word squad. There you go. Between Sol and DNS is... Cyan is too high. I'm gonna put him lower. Deer, well, we know where you go. Zest. For whatever reason, the hard Z does something to me. So we're gonna put you in between Firefly and Max Specs. Although it is a random English word, is less common as well, which I think is kind of sick. Sulky. Next to Soul. There you go, buddy. You deserve it. Life. Very low tier. Not a fan. Innovation, weird capitalization. I'm gonna go below MVP. TY. It's his name. I think Taeyong. Taeyong. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's fine. It's just... It's okay. I'm just gonna put you above the time. SOS. I don't like that it's SOS, but I do like that the O is big and the S's are small. It's kind of creative, just like his playstyle. Yeah, I actually don't mind this. Mentally, I thought I was gonna hate this name, but now that it makes the rounds a couple of times through my tiny brain, I can feel the appeal to it. SOS. We're gonna put you next to Zest, actually. Yeah, on the right side of Zest. Then we have Zanster. Now, Zenster is a Swedish player. I put his name in here because I freaking love his nickname. I think it's such a good nickname. It absolutely passes the vibe test. It passes the Google test because the way that Zenster got his nickname is by going to a random word generator and just clicking until he got a word that he liked. And I think this is it is such a good nickname, actually. It is actually such a good nickname. Look at that. Anton Zenster Dahlström is a Swedish Zerg player. God. Yeah, such a... I don't think it's better than Elaser. Zenster, Zero, Harstem. But it's up there with the brilliant ones, that's for sure. Trap. You know where to go, buddy. Somewhere you belong. Zaun? No, I never heard of that before. It's not a random English word. I don't think it means anything in English. Tasteless always pronounces it as Jaun, which I think is great. Just because of that, I'm going to actually put you between Clem and Scarlet. Just because of Tasteless' pronunciation of your name. Kalazur. If Elaser hadn't existed, this would be a very high tier name. But it smells a little bit like Kel Tuzad as well, which I think is like a Warcraft dude or something. Does he pass the Google check? Yeah, he does. Like it's too much like Elaser, and Elaser, I'm sorry, buddy, just was first. I think I can remember Elaser before Kalazur, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still a very high tier name. I'm gonna put it up here, but below Vanya, below Oz, below Cham, below Maru, just before Bolt. Then we got Ragnarok. I'm just going to put you somewhere in here. It doesn't really matter. Ragnarok, of course, comes in a duo because right now he's called Shin. Sometimes he writes it in all caps, which I think is very cool. And sometimes he writes it with just a capital S, which I also think is quite cool. I also believe that's just his name. I think he's called Shin Hee Byom. I'm absolutely obliterating the way that's supposed to be pronounced. I'm going to put him pretty high up. I'm going to put him here. A lot of great names in StarCraft. I might have to rearrange a little bit later because I see that I made some mistakes that I'm not happy with. Creator. Yep, there we go. Gumiho. If it wasn't for that weird M in the middle, and honestly, if it was a small G, this nickname would be soaring to the top. For now, we're gonna put you in the... Yeah, just above you thermal, we can do that. Parting. Capital G actually does something to me, which is why I'm gonna put it just above Swalky. Symbol. I feel like I shouldn't put these guys in decent. I actually don't like their nicknames. I'm gonna rearrange all of these. The Reigns, the Symbols, the Creators, the Curiouses, the Deers, the Lemons, the Trap, the Coffee, the Cyan, the Ragnarok, the Solars, the Cures. It's bad. It's not good. It's not decent. It's not decent. It's bad. I don't like it. The more I see of these, the worse it gets. Showtime, you can stay up there. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm going to put them to the very bottom of this. You don't have to pick anything new, but come on. You should have picked something better. It is bad, okay? And you should feel bad about this. So I'm telling you. Lambo's actually going to go above this. No, he's not. Who am I kidding? Battlebee might, though. Roro. Yeah, it's decent. It's nothing special. I don't mind it. Here you go. Sniper. Yeah, you know where you go. Kian. If it wasn't for the N, it would be great. For now, it's going to be low decent. It's above Soul, though. It's above Soul. Yeah, it's above Soul. Squirtle. You should have picked something different because it's a Pokemon. No one's going to think of you when they think Squirtle. It's like, have you seen Squirtle lately? Like, people are going to put you in the insane asylum because they think you're seeing Pokemon. Ace. I mean, what are we doing here? Puzzle. Same story. July. That's a month. Pick something new. Rainbow. And then on top of that, also with the BO. Pick something new. Now some real ones. Loco. Not bad. I kind of like it. Low as well. Instead of high. He could have called himself Heiko. Which would have sounded worse. Loco in a way actually sounds pretty cool. I dig it. I'm going to give this a... I feel like above Young Yakov. I feel like Bomber should be below Young Yakov though. Yeah, there you go. Winter. I mean, we know where you belong. Pig. Capital G actually putting in some work. I'm gonna put you in the low decent. Then Giant Grand Games didn't fit in my image generator program. It's too long. I think he honestly should call himself Triple G. And I don't mean just GGG, but Triple G. I think that's a really sick name. And then you make the G a big G. So for now, actually, well, please pick something new and make it Triple G Giant Grant Games. I know branding-wise, it's not going to be great, but if you could go back in time, if a genie could grant you one wish, you could go for world peace, but you could also wish that when you were younger, you would have picked Triple G as your name. And then you could explain him that it stands for Giant Grant Games. All right? Sort of. Not bad. Kind of dig it. And then we end with Stefano, which I always loved as a nickname. It's just a name. It's not his real name. His real name is Ili Satouri. But yeah, Stefano is just a good nickname. I'm actually really happy with this list. I'm not sure if I think I like Oz a bit more than I'm giving him credit for, as well as Jakji. Just gonna put it like this. Oz, Ilaser, Zanster, Serral, Harstem, Oz, Jakji, Nikic, Vanya, Cham, Maru, Kelazur, Shin, Pod, Ryang, Fruit Dealer. Maybe Clem deserves higher. Maybe Scarlet deserves higher too. I think I'm gonna put Clem and Scarlet just above these two. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I was thinking of putting Uthermo and Shadow down one tier. But I kind of dig it like this. Wayne is gonna go above MC. And I'm actually happy with this. All right. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. I'm just going to remove my face as well so you guys can see the entire list. Look at that. The entire list. Now, curious to see what you guys have to say about it. Any vibes that I got wrong? Any vibes that you feel like should have been much different? What is the biggest crime here that I've committed? That's actually what I want to know. And rather than everyone typing logo should be lower, how about one person just makes the comment and you guys then upvote it so I can easily see what my worst take is, according to you guys. Of course, according to me, this is a fairly subjective thing to do, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm curious anyway what you all have to say. All right, that's actually going to be it for me today. I hope you all did enjoy this long-awaited tier list of StarCraft 2 Pro Gamer nicknames. There we go. If you have any other tier lists you would like to see, be sure to leave that in the comments as well, because boy, this was a fast video to produce. It didn't take me 5 years to produce all of these images. I was very fast at it, let me tell you. All right, it's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you all had a great time. If you did, smash like, tell your friends, and discuss the names with them as well. This is important stuff, all right? I know we have a big election coming up in Belgium, but this is what really matters. Okay, see y'all. Ciao, ciao.